Alright, so basically for F in C, do F less. Alright, we're gonna open it in a Vim editor, I guess. So for our objective today, we are going to be taking a look at empty if 0. So there was a Stack Overflow question, which I don't remember exactly what it was, but it basically asked for not expanding to anything if there is a non-zero value passed to the macro. So for this channel, before I work towards many macro tricks that I covered basically in the past, and today we are going to do some unnecessary boggling with basically the C Preprocessor. So first, what is the idea basically? Oh, you have the idea open, recover. So first we have the notion of reversing an array. So basically, if you want to declare an array, for example a func, and let's declare an array. Let's say this is a short array 1 2 3 4, and you basically want to write type in 1 2 3 4 in the sequence, but you want to reverse it, which is basically unnecessary because you could just say that 4 3 2 1 this works. But for the sake of fun, why not add a macro that will basically take in the string value, and we can enclose that in curlies to get the reverse order, basically that 1 2 3 4 expands to array being equal to 4 2 3 1. So if that's the kind of thing you are interested in, you might as well start watching this video till the end. So that's what we are going to be covering for the time being. I don't know why I'm addicted to seeing the status all the time, but okay, let's jump into it. So basically, this is as so far we have done, and as you can see, the number at the end of rev macro is correspondent to the number of arguments given passed to array. So we have up to 4 parameters. So if we say 1 2 3 4, and that declares the array, and we compile the shit, why are we getting, alright, we're not doing this. Let's stringify this, right? How do I stringify? It's already stringified. Alright, we're not interested in stringifying it. So basically, let's stringify it again. to show you basically how the compiler sees it. Why is it we basically want call, so it's 4321, right? So we also have defined ref3, which deals with 3 parameters. So if you have 1 2 3, what basically does is 3 2 1. But what happens when either it gets smaller, like 2 parameters, we don't expand to anything because ref2 is not defined, and 3 4 5, because 5 is not also defined as well, and we get the same thing. It doesn't expand to anything. So what is the basic idea? The idea centered towards the main concept is kind of complicated, but let's start by step by step. So force expand, what it does, it basically forces it to expand. So let me just add a comment, force anything to expand or stringify if necessary. Alright, my spelling kind of missed. Alright, my spelling good. And basically that's how so what we are doing is basically first taking everything and then putting the first argument to the last argument to first and working way towards that. So we take 4 to here and 3 to, so how do you do that in macros? So as you can see probably that we only have defines, so nothing else, nothing of the sort of macro features, micro directives other than define, and we are going to be working towards that because that gets kind of complicated when you only have a specific set of rules to work with. So how does that really work? So this is the parameter overloading. So you overload basically to ref4 or ref3 depending on how many parameters you get. So let's give it an idea. Let's define like ref2, and it takes a and a variety argument because you want that. And what we basically want to do is want to expand a lot less. So how many times are we going to expand? Probably 3 times. So nest 2 times, I guess, right? So nest 2 is the first rounder, and get comma, I'll remove comma, I guess. So let's take a look at the definition. It basically returns the first argument to the entirety of the argument given. So first we do that, and then we expand even more because we now have just a single argument. So we basically do a, and that should give 2 parameters. Oh my god. Alright, why not? Why exactly? Do you have to expand 3 times? Or 1 times? Something doesn't really make sense. Oh, we are not calling it anything. I guess 3. Alright, it gives you 2, 1. And now let's implement higher. So basically we want to do the same exact thing and call it ref5, and it will start from, how many definitions we have? Okay, we have to expand even more. So it starts from 0 and everything else is basically the same. What is get rest? Get rest basically gives you anything except the first parameter. So it's basically the inverse of what remove comma does. I think the naming is kind of off, but I think it works well. It does work, I guess. So nest2 0 and we get rest nest2 0. Are we finished? Where is 1 exactly? We need this, and we call it 1, call it 0, and we give 5 parameters, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hopefully that should do the trick. 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. What? I think we are expanding a bit too much. Oh, there is a duplicate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, that sounds good. That looks good, I guess. Yeah. So F6. And we need to expand even more. So the first one is -1. We have defined -1 before in my previous attempt at the video because the microphone got cut up for some reason. So -1 forces it to expand even more. And as you can see, what happens is that we get we put the last parameter first and put the rest of the parameters next. And we do that over and over again. Where is the stray A's in here? F5. Where is it? Has to be F6. And one and 1 and 2, 1 get rest, 0 get rest, nest 2 and 1, 2, 3. I think we're missing something. 3, 2, 1. We're missing something. Yeah, alright, anyway, we do it on nest 2 and 1. And if we give it 6 parameters, we get this. So this is pretty good, and hopefully you can see the pattern and you can extend it to even more. Alright, let's extend it to even more. So -2, it calls less -2 and -1. So last two -2 and 1, that should do the trick. And if n1 2 0 should do the trick. And let's implement 7. So that's the problem with macros, right? We can't generalize it. So start with n2. That means -2. We can't just use this because that will not be allowed as a valid syntax for variable naming. Alright, remove comma, nest -2, remove comma, nest -1 and -2. Is there even a 0? Alright, we do have zeros. So hopefully we n1 how do I do that? There's something wrong, I guess. n1, it should be 1. This should be n1. No, this should be 0. Send to nest to 0. Right, it's gonna get too long, I guess. Well, let's not do that. And also, what I have here is so this thing right here, what it does basically is expand if. So what is the idea again? Let's say we have an expression in x equals 1, assignment, and we want to guard it as not being compiled into the binary. So we basically say that if def something do not compile and if compile, but we have basically a more complicated way to do this. So how do we exactly do that? What if we have a macro let's say in our case expand if, and if it's 0 then expand, and if it's anything more than 0 like 1 2 3, it doesn't expand, so it doesn't get into the target binary. So how do we implement that? So we define a cat function, and that's the basic idea, is that the parameter count, if you have to look at the compilation, I guess. So look at the compilation. If the parameter count matches 2 or 3, I guess, then the course, I mean, something seems off here. Alright, so expression 2 and 1. So if the parameter count is 2, which will basically mean that the comma is interpreted as an extra parameter, even though it only it has nothing for the former. So expand, this will expand if we encounter this variable which will match the mode, I guess this mode right here, and if the mode is 1 and the variable name is also 1, then it will expand. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this is the most convoluted way to print numbers backwards. So how do, so we have to invoke it with a function like anyway. So this doesn't seem to work for some reason. Of course this is not going to work, but if we say that every time it is 3 and the 4 will not be defined, so what I can do instead in the previous n, whenever n changes from the nested the parent loop, we only change k to I, which would basically reverse the order. And let's add 5. So expand if mod 5 int x equals 5. I suspect there could be some kind of state machines that can be implemented with this logic. Maybe I can try to do that, and if it's even possible theoretically, or even practical theoretically, or to translate that to practicality. Is that a coding? Alright, so we'll do that on the next video, but for now let's edit this script to run for 5. This has to be 5 and trick 1, basically 5 4 3 2 1. And if you want to make it more a little bit pretty, that's a lot slower way to do that. So yeah, so now what is our future plan? It would be to explore Chos-pp, right? So as you can see, probably we have a copy of Chaos. Let's take a look at all the code. So this is basically Chos-pp that is extremely complicated pre-processing quirk that tries to do everything in the preprocessor. How many lines of code that is? That is 47,000 lines of code, like 48,000. That's a lot. So for in the next we'll do step by step. Oh no, list.h. Yeah, we will explore this, I guess, in more detail. So it basically implements list. Let's see what it implements. Comparison recursion. Dynamic, equalize, expression, higher order expressions, block, basic. So let's take a look at basic Chos-pp. So it has facilities, empty, ops, lambda as dependencies. So it's kind of an involved project, and we'll explore that on the next video. Probably comment down below if you want to see it, and if you have made past this long, great thanks to you for seeing some weird shit. And basically, let me show you my beautiful, alright, my face can be shown. Why? Alright, OBS is using it. We can't. Alright, resource is busy. It can be, but alright. So that's the end of the video. Hope you liked it or disliked it. I don't know. So I'm out. Bye.